Runk.
Hey, it's episode 426. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Episode 426 of Congratulations. You know, let's get things started. As the Black Eyed Peas would say, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
Black and Indigenous people of color.
Eh?
Black and Indigenous people of color.
Keeping the beat.
Lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, and queer.
Dude, I did not hear this yet. I only heard the Black and Indigenous people of color part. Stopped it and I said, gotta see it on the podcast. So this is the rest. And then she started going to trans and all other people that are, I guess, marginalized.
Lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, and queer.
Yep.
Asian, American, Pacific Islander.
And whites at the end. I bet whites isn't part of this these lyrics, but let's check it out. And whites who are heterosexual and men who fuck women.
Asian, American, Pacific.
What if at the end she said, "These are all the people that are the scum of the earth"? I don't think that. I'm just saying.
Latino, Hispanic, Romani, and Creole. Latino,
Grasping at straws.
Hispanic, Romani, and Creole. We
had to do it.
all have a place in this world.
Well, she fixed it.
We all
She fixed it.
have a place
She fixed it.
in this world.
Dude, and didn't edit out the part where she touches it and cuts it out. This is great. BIPOC song by Molly Gawler. Molly Gawler. I encourage collaboration on this. Anyone have any other lines to add? I do. It's a bit of a chant. Cool. I think we could add a super high part or a super low part that sings women. What do you hear? Okay. Yeah. So, hold on.
Black and Indigenous
Whites,
people of
whites,
color.
also whites,
Black
whites,
and
whites,
Indigenous
since she doesn't
people
mention
of
whites.
color.
Whites,
Lesbian,
whites,
gay,
men who
bi,
have sex with women,
transgender,
men,
queer.
straight, whites,
Lesbian,
also,
gay,
since it's the
bi,
only one she doesn't
transgender, and
mention.
queer.
She mentions Romani, for Christ's sakes.
Asian,
She mentions
American,
Creole, for Christ's sakes.
Pacific Islander.
She mentions Romani and
Asian,
Creole,
American,
for Christ's sakes, and doesn't
Pacific
mention
Islander.
whites.
Latino,
Dude, we're all Indians.
Hispanic, Romani, and Creole.
Romani, dude, that's my favorite
Latino,
cheese.
Hispanic, Romani, and Creole. We all have a place in this world.
Honestly, dude, it kind of
We all
slaps.
have
If I'm
a
honest,
place in
if a movie
this
started with this
world.
and I didn't listen to the lyrics, I'd be like, all right, I'm kind of in, dude. We all have a place in this world. How does she hit it and not make her chest go vibrato? You know what? Shout out to Molly Gawler. Molly Gawler. Let's get a collaboration going with her. Molly Faye 8 on Instagram, and there's obviously she didn't put the comments on there because everyone would be so racist, and I don't agree with racism, dude. Blacks, Indigenous people of color. So that's it for her. She is triple, quadruple platinum. Triple, quadruple platinum. Okay. Valentine's Day is coming up. What are you guys doing? You guys gonna get your splurt on or what? You guys gonna romance? You gonna do nice stuff for your wives and your, well, not really husbands, right? Well, if you are a homosexual, which is fine, black blacks, indigenous, people of color, then what you would do is something nice for your homosexual husband. If he is the bottom, not if he's the top. If he's the top, this day isn't for him. Shoot, man. Whites. Okay, so anyway, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? I just, am just having a good time, okay, in life. And comedy is just what it is. So don't be upset. I think, honestly, I was talking about this in couples therapy. If I had to stop dissecting things that I think are funny, for instance, the way my wife hands me something. Right? She always hands me something like right here. It'll be right here. And she thinks it's good because it's real close. For those of you that audio listeners, really close to my chin. For those of you who think that to the side of my chin. For those of you who think that's something good because it's close, it's not. Because what hand do I grab it with? What do I do? Do I do this? No. What do I do? This? No. So every time she does it, I go, babe, why do you hand it to me like it's a chip I'm supposed to eat? And I'm just, I go, babe, can you? I'm over. And then I look like a jerk. I'm like, can you put it over in front of me a little bit more so I can grab it? So anyway, I want to. If I couldn't dissect that, if I couldn't think about how funny that was, I couldn't live. I couldn't breathe. Life would be done. And I was talking about that because, obviously when we get down to brass tacks, that's very annoying for a partner. I'm annoying. I'm an annoying person. Okay? You either get the humor or you don't. Now, if you do get it, it's constant. So either if you do get it or don't get it, it's still annoying. Black, Latino, indigenous, of color. And so what you get is highly irritated. Now I can't stop. I can't stop. That's dissecting idiosyncratic stuff. I can't stop. So I was talking to you, and we were talking about how it's 24/7 and how it's constant. And I said to her, I was like, we got to figure this out because I can't. It's got to be so difficult being with a comedian. Do you understand? I mean, dude, I'm here and I have this podcast and I do this and I talk this. I get it out. And I still, I think the hour after doing my podcast, my wife is probably just walking on sunshine. Oh, it's gonna feel good. Brown. And then an hour later, I'm just like, how come you left the door like this? If you close it and you keep the latch on, then it won't lock from the out. It'll lock from the outside, not the inside. And she's just like, I don't give a fuck. And I get it. But if I couldn't do that stuff, at least in my head, I die. Do you understand? And I'm telling her this I'm telling the therapist this, and then afterwards we're talking about it, and Kristen says, that's how I am with projects. I said, really? I said, she said, if I couldn't do projects, I'd rather die. Dude, and that's wild, man. I believe her, and that is wild. Believe women, and that is just wild. Because that is just for projects, wow. I can't not do it, though. How about that? I can't not do it, For instance, the other day I got a coffee at this place, and I took a picture of it. I'll put it up on the video here. There is I go to this coffee shop, okay, and it's called La La Land, all right? Now, it's a chain. It's got great espresso. If you're near La La Land, it's like this yellow place. It's good at branding, but it's got great espresso. I go there, I get espresso, okay? Lately, they have had this, basically, it's a trash can. And you know what? I don't know if you'll hear this or what, because the other day, I talk about, I talked about this other place, this other restaurant, and then 2 days later, some guy was like, "Hey, man," at the gym. He was like, "Heard the thing about that. I worked there, and the owner was laughing." I'm like, "Oh, great. Well, okay. So maybe you'll hear about this, and if you do, great." And it's always embarrassing a little bit for me when people bring it up in the real world, but fine. So at this spot, there is a thing. There is basically, it's a big cardboard box that's this big, all right? And, I would say 4 feet. No. Yeah, 4 feet. And boxed. And it's got a top on it, okay? But there's a circle cut out in the middle. Now, what's that? That's one thing. That is one thing, okay? That's one thing, and that is where you put your trash. That's a trash can. I don't care what color it is. I don't care if it's wrapped nice during Christmas. You understand? Like, hey, it's a toy drive. I still put my trash in there because I'm so used to putting trash in a trash can. You don't want me to be a litter bug, right? So you've conditioned me, life and the government, to put trash in things that have a top with a circle cut out into it. So I put things like wrappers, old coffee cups, napkins. I put them in there, okay? Now I'm looking at this thing, okay? And the first few days I look at this thing and I'm like, that's it. That's interesting, that they do this when they could just buy a trash can. Don't have a cardboard one. Don't make one, okay? This is the stuff I'm thinking before I'm thinking it's something else. And then I go like this. Oh, wait a second. Maybe it's not a trash can. And then instead of checking, I leave. Because who fucking cares? It's just a thought I had. Now I got to go do something else. As I'm doing a bunch of other things, every now and then, for the rest of the day, I think about that trash can. Now, I'm crazed. That's fine. But that's what I'm thinking of. And I'm like, is it a trash can or not? I go back again. I see it. I don't check yet. I don't know if it's because I'm a self-sabotager or what, or if I want to be bothered by it secretly. But finally, the third day, I look at it, and it says, there's a little thing on it in the back of it. It says, "This is not a trash can." And I go, oh, it's not a trash can. And obviously they put that sign there because people were putting trash in it. And of course they're putting trash in it because it's a basket with a top on it and a hole cut out in the middle. Now, I look at it, that's all I do. I don't think, what else is it for? I just go, oh, it's not a trash can, okay? Another day later, I look at it and I say, there's that thing. And it says, this is not a trash can, okay? Another day I go back, because this is my spot, okay? Another day I go back and I see this thing and it's in a different place, okay? It's in a different place in the store. And on top of it, it has a sign, a big sign now that's written, and it says, "This is not for trash," okay? So people just keep just going, just not thinking about it. They're so conditioned throwing stuff with a top on it with a hole cut in the middle of it that it's trash, that they throw their trash in there. They don't give a fuck what it's for, okay? And then I say, oh, wow, okay, I notice it now big time. Then the next day I go back there and there is a sign. Now it's a different sign. It's bigger and it says, "This is not trash," okay? And it is over the hole on the top of it, okay? So I'm just like, hey, get a different container. Dude, you're fucking your whole time up here. And under it says, "This is for donations for the fire." Hey, they get trash then. What are we supposed to do? Take off our sweater and put it in? It's for clothes for the fire? Dude, hey, keep it open. Open it up so people can see what's in it, dude. There's a little hole and it's at a place where you have so much shit to throw away. The coffee, at a coffee shop? Dude, you got a paper cup, you got the sleeve on it, you got the top on it, you got the sugar packets, you got napkins, you got the stir, you got the milk. There's so much shit to throw away. And they put this fucking thing there. And then they have to have a sign over the hole. It's like, dude, now it's closed. And I'm just like, oh, dude, this kind of shit, I love it, dude. And I think about it so much. And I couldn't wait to talk about it on the podcast, man. Because if I talk about it with my wife, she'll be annoyed because being with a comedian is annoying. Dude, I cannot understand. I can spend all day thinking about that, man, and laughing, dude, that there's some yucks just sitting there. Like, well, we put a sign on it. Get a basket. Put a shirt in it. Oh, man. It's so great, dude. It is so great. That's the kind of shit that sends me. Darling, you send me. Honest, you do. Honest, you do. Oh, music used to suck, dude. It still sucks, but in a different way. Oh, God, it's so funny. And I'm just like...
Black and indigenous people of color.
You know what I mean, dude? Magic Mind. Dude. Oh, man. We loving it, dude. So I'm just like, that's the kind of stuff I think about. And I won't stop, dude. I can't stop. Dude, oh, gosh. Whenever I think maybe I'll stop the podcast, I have a Rip Roaring episode. And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe we won't ever stop it. Well, no, we won't stop it. We won't stop it. But I did go to this place recently. Wait, hold on. Actually, let's talk about this. What the fuck is Kanye West doing? Hey, your chick, she's naked. Arrest her. Hey, her tits are all out. Hey, we could see it move if it queefs. Hey. Yeah, her body's perfect, but, it's like, what's going on? He just stands there. She takes off the mink coat on the Grammys. You think I give a fuck about a Grammy? Half of you couldn't thump me, then don't stand me. And so she takes it off. Her bombs are out, and she is naked, right? I guess she's got something over her. And hey, kick her out, right? I kick her out. It's illegal. This whole world is crazy. I don't even care. Dude, I wish he showed up naked for real. Both of them together, be naked. I want to see both of your genitals, both of your, chest areas. Kanye, let's see what's up, And people are like, oh, he's controlling, the power that he has over her. It's like, dude, hey, she's a fucking grown woman, okay? She can dress, she could put on a button down if she wants, huh? She could put on pants if she wants. She's exposing the queef maker because she just, she's loving it. She's loving it. Somehow this will be Kanye's fault, right? When it's like, actually, it's just illegal to show up at a place naked. Right? And so, it's like when people are like glorifying the lady who took 1,000 dudes. She had slept 1,000 dudes in like 12 hours. And she's like, yeah, I had sex with a 19-year-old. I took his virginity and his mom picked him up. And it's like, and everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. Hey, dude, imagine. So I'm just like, and imagine if it was a black indigenous person of color. All fine. But I'm just saying, dude, arrest anyone naked anywhere. Or don't. But don't have a double standard. Do not. Okay? I gotta explain to my kids now that there's just a lady with bombs in her queef maker out? On a red carpet? So I don't know. I don't know. I was at this restaurant. So I'm at this restaurant. He's probably going to hear this because he's a fan. But I go to this restaurant, and the dude there is like, it's a new restaurant where I live, and the dude there is just like, it's one of those things where, my shit. I order at the counter. That's my shit. If I gotta sit down, it's too official. If I have to sit down and a waiter comes up, dude, this is not. Let me just Let me just be like this. That, or on a kiosk, you know? And then it shows, even if I don't have to talk to anyone, even better. So I get there, and this guy's like, yo, Chris D'Elia, I got to say, you know, and he works there. It's great. It's really nice, super cool. I say, hey, buddy. He's like, oh, man. He starts telling me about my podcast, starts telling me about other things, starts telling me about, you know, nice guy. Every time I go there now, he's like, oh, dude, what's all good. All good. All good. I find him quite nice. Conversing with him is fun, you know? He says, hey, let me ask you a question. It's like the fourth time I've seen him. My girl, she cheated on me. I said, oh, yeah? And he said, yeah. It's a few weeks ago I found out. She cheated on me with a fucking 70-year-old. And we were looking at each other for a while after that, because who knows who's supposed to say something after that is said. I didn't know. I guess it was my turn. Because he stopped for a while. So I said, a 70-year-old? He said, yeah. And I said, how old is she? And he said, 20, you know, something, whatever it was. And I say, oh my God. And he's like, is that fucked up? And I was like, yeah. I mean, he was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can get over it. I told her recently, today, like, I don't know if I could get over it. And I was like, yeah. Look, I think, people fuck up. And, you know, if you want to forgive your girl for cheating, okay, that's you know, nice and noble if you can get through that. The issue is he's 70. Okay. So if that's what you, like, dude, if Kristen was like, hey, gotta tell you something. I cheated on you with a guy. I guess in her case, it would be, he's 80. I would say, oh, you got deep probs. Or I would say, how much money did you make? Because the guy was like, so I guess, like, she says it's not for money, but, like, she doesn't want to talk about it. Like, is it for money? And I said, oh, yeah, dude. I just said it to the guy. I said, it's for money, dude. It's for money. You know, split it. That is a wild thing to say to a customer, but I'm glad he did, because, wow, you got to get that stuff out. You got to get that stuff out, right? Because that is wild. If you didn't get it out, that could become cancer later, right? Jaden Smith at the Grammys was wild, right? He wore a house. Let me see here. Wait, why is it not playing? Oh, there's... I mean, just Willow's in underwear, and then Jaden is wearing a house on his head. So it's a castle, I guess. I did think, though, if you did get kicked out, you could be like, if somebody tried to kick them out, you'd be like, hello, I live here. Actually, I live here, so go home. Actually, that is insane. Imagine that. Imagine he got, like, in an argument with somebody. That's you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you see him in a heated argument with somebody with that fucking castle on his head. Hey, Jaden. And I ran into him recently. I love the guy. Hey, dude, take that castle off your head. That's hilarious. And here's the thing. People, it's so dumb when people are like, look how stupid. Look at this, is so dumb. Dude, that's why he's doing it. He doesn't think it looks good. You know? He's just like, yeah, I'll wear dude, I want a castle on my head. Fuck around, right? Life is, it's so, ridiculous anyway. You know, props to him for wearing a fucking castle on his head. The whole Grammys are ridiculous, dude. I mean, Kendrick Lamar won for the song where he's basically, I mean, dude, the whole, everyone, here, look, I think I have it here. Okay, not taken away. The song is a banger, okay? It's a great, I love it. Everyone is in there doing it. He just called Drake a pedo, right? And now everyone, like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, you know, Jimmy Iovine and shit in the back, just A minor. Dude, that is so disrespectful. Also, dude, you win a Grammy for that? Like, Drake is just Drake. He's chilling. You know, people are like, oh, he likes young chicks. Dude, no, he would be in jail. He is Drake. And Kendrick Lamar was like, hey, dude, guess what? You're a pedophile. And he's just, Drake's like, what? And now people are just like, A minor. And they give him a Grammy for it. That's so fucked up, dude. That's so fucked up. But the song bangs, though, dude. I mean, it just... That's what it needs. But that's so fucked up. I wonder if he feels bad. I would feel so bad. Like, it should be like if they were like, yeah, if the whole song was like, yo, Drake is a muffin. And it was like, he's a muffin. And then he's like, blueberry. And then Drake just at home, just like, I'm not a muffin. You know? He's like, I like pastries, but come on. It's so silly, dude. And that's so fucked up that they used that part of the song, too, when he won. That's the part. It ended with the part. Minor. Yeah, just fucking Adele in the back. A minor. You know what I mean? Like, it's so shitty. So the Grammys are I mean, the whole thing's also... This song is so good, but come on, dude. Was it the best song of the year? I don't know. I'm not saying it wasn't, but like the Grammys they're just hilarious. So Jaden Smith, props on wearing a house. You know? So that's what it was. That's what it is. There were big protests against deportations downtown, and what they did was basically run into the freeway and make people stop traffic, and just so they could get the word out. And that's gonna make people want them out of the way more. That's the whole thing about protesting is you got to do it in the right way. Like, hey, dude, if you're protesting anything, dude, and I can't get to fucking my house quicker because I gotta fucking get out the way. And I know protesters you're supposed to not protest when you're not supposed to protest. I get that. But like half of those people on the street driving might agree with you. So don't do a thing that the whole thing about deportation is hilarious because just don't do the thing. You're in the way. Oh, dude, this is hilarious. They just texted me, hey, Chris, explain tariffs. I can't. I can't. And I'll tell you this much. I never will be able to. Because what is it? And I know that Canada and other countries have, Trump has put tariffs on them. And then I know they put tariffs back on us. So it's just like, all right, we're going tariff crazy, you know? There is a, it is so crazy how much. Oh, wait, that was right. Well, the fucking thing that happened. Fuck, what was it? Oh, damn it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. It was something I wanted to talk about in this podcast, and I can't think of what it was. The hotel. I was at a hotel, and something was out of order. Fuck, what was it, dude? Somebody was cleaning. It was a cleaning. I sound like the worst psychic. Fuck, what was it? I'm so pissed off. I wanted to talk about it. And I can't remember. God, when that stuff happens. Oh. What is it? I don't know. I got to talk about something else first. It'll come to me later. I got to, dude, that makes me so mad because when I'm writing in my notes for the podcast, because I made it, I go, oh, dude, I got to make sure I write it so I remember. And I go, and but I'm doing something else. So I'm like, I got to do it quick, but I got to just put it. Hotel rooms out of order cleaning. Where was I? I was in Santa Rosa. And that what was a hotel like? I was in what was the next one? Speaking of which, dates. I'll be in Denver. I'll be in Rhode Island. I'll be in Tacoma. I will be in a bunch of different places. Go to crystalia.com for shows. These tickets are going. A lot of them are almost sold out already. So go to crystalia.com for the full list of where I will be. Peoria, Spokane, Dubuque, Appleton, Wisconsin, Ontario, California, Amarillo, Lubbock, Casper, Wyoming. Where is it? But yeah, wow, man, I don't remember the cleaning thing and I'm pissed off. All right. Sorry, guys. I failed that part of the podcast. Dude, the Brian Callen thing where I talked about this on Golden Hour a little bit, but the Brian Callen thing where I wrote a detective all right, well, you guys just see here. Look, this is what we do for fun. Okay? This is so funny to me, okay? I go like this. This is what I write him. So I go to let me actually just read it first. This is a text I send to Brian, okay? My friend, another comedian. Under the cover of night, the private detective moved with a practiced ease, his trench coat flaring slightly as he turned the corner. The man he was following was just a few paces ahead, oblivious to the shadow tracking his every move. The neon lights of the city reflected off damp pavement, casting fleeting colors onto the detective's face. The case had started with whispers of betrayal, illicit affairs, tangled with dangerous secrets. But now it was spiraling into something darker. The detective had seen it all before. Sex used as currency, as a weapon. As the hinge on which lives swung open and shut, he adjusted the brim of his hat, his jaw tight with focus. He wasn't just chasing a man. He was chasing answers to a mystery fueled by lust, lies, and the kind of desires that made people desperate enough to kill. Okay? I texted him that. And then I texted him right after that. Anyway. Okay? And then the next morning, he texts me, dude, I just read this all the way through without stopping. It's 6 a.m. and my heart is racing with anticipation. Where on earth did you learn to write like this? Holy fucking shit. I read this in one sitting. This is all caps. You captured this city and detective like it's fucking really happening before my eyes. Keep reading it. It's so layered. I find new things in I keep finding new things in it. And then so obviously I went into AI, and maybe I still even have the thing, but I went into ChatGPT. It probably doesn't exist. Can you do previous ones? Your history? Where oh yeah, here we go. Detective Mind. Detective Mind twist. Here it is. Okay. So what I wrote is okay, hold on. What I wrote is hey, can you I don't have that part, but hey Meta, can you write me a crime novel of a detective and chasing a guy and mention sex a bunch of times? That's what I did, and that's what I got. And then he wrote that, okay? Then he said, keep reading. So I said, thank you, man. Just a little excerpt. I've been working very hard on it. And he wrote, fuck, is there more? And I wrote, yeah, it's just a little hard to put myself out there for judgment, so as long as you be cool about it. It took a lot to text you that first part. Okay. Then I go to ChatGPT and I write, can you write the last paragraph of a crime novel about a private detective that finally gets his man and realizes right as he catches him that the whole time everything was all in the detective's head? Mention sex a few times. And then it writes this, okay? Maybe I'll paraphrase it. It's not crazy long, but I just write. So I send this to Brian, okay? I send him. I stood over him, my shadow swallowing his crumpled body on the motel room floor. The blood on his hands wasn't metaphorical anymore, was it? All the girls, all the lies, all the twisted games played out under cheap neon signs and the smell of stale sex and despair. It all ended here. He looked up at me, lips trembling, eyes wide with something that looked like terror, or maybe pity. And that's when it hit me. The room flickered, bending under the weight of a truth I'd been running from. There was no him. There were no girls. There was no chase. Just me, chasing ghosts born... chasing ghosts... Chasing ghosts born of too many lonely nights and too much bourbon. The sex, the violence, the vengeance. It was all mine. I let out a laugh, low and guttural, as the sirens wailed in the distance. I'd finally solved the case, and the answer was me. Okay? And then I text him, that's the working ending I have for now. And he writes, dude, this is so overwhelming. I said, thanks, man. So then I go into ChatGPT and I do a book cover. So I have a book cover called The Crazy Detective, and I made a back part of it. So now he says, fuck, congratulations, I'm so depressed. I've been writing an erotic thriller but I feel like quitting. I said, oh man, that really? Don't do that. He said, I feel like just destroying this prose that took me so long to write. I said, I mean, it could be good, right? Just relax. He said, no, it's such shit compared to what you write. I wouldn't even show you a paragraph. I'm ashamed. I said, oh, I'm really sorry that made you feel that badly, man. It's just I've been really working hard on this, and I'm proud of it. I mean, dude, this is a man in his 40s and a man in his 50s texting this for like ignoring our family. You know what I mean? I said, what's yours even called? And he says, The White Prisoner. He says, it's stupid. I've already wasted your time. I said, no, I mean, the title sounds pretty fucking cool, I think. And in all caps, he writes, really? And I said, yeah, sure, it's cool. I'd read it, to be honest. And then he sends me a paragraph from it. Dude, it has so much wrong with it. There are words that are not words. There are so many typos because he didn't use ChatGPT. As a matter of fact, he didn't write it. He voice texted it. So here, this is, I don't know if I can even read some of it, but The white aristocrat was thrown naked into the cell, the dark, dank cell. His alabaster frame highlighted in the moonlight. He was breathing heavily. His heavy cock, that big heavy cock with veins like the Nile he was so famous for among all rich white New York girls, London girls, Paris girls, high society was now held in high relief behind his slender hands that have never done any kind of manual labor. The heavy black bodies, barely visible in the darkness, begin to close. Okay, so as you could imagine, he stood his ground. He was. I mean, dude, I can't read the rest. They'll just straight up take this off YouTube. So. And then he writes, "You don't even have to read it. I don't know why I just sent that." And then he wrote, "There are some typos. I mean, there are so many typos, okay?" And then he said, "They ate his body is what I meant. They were cannibalism enthusiasts." And I wrote, "Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Listen, I mean, that's great. It's just, I mean, yeah, okay. It's not just so much of a crime novel, is it? But a lot of typos, you should fix that before you submit it." He said, "You hate it. Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm such a jackass. I'm a hack. I can't even spell." Okay. So then, days later, I go to ChatGPT and I take what Brian wrote and I put it in ChatGPT. And I said, "Hey, can you fix this and make it sound, legit?" And it comes up with this. The white aristocrat hit the floor of this. This one I can read because it's dirty-ish, but it's not. The white aristocrat hit the floor of the cell, naked, delicate, exquisitely out of place. A fine china teacup dropped into a bucket of mud. The air was thick with the musk of history, damp with sweat and the lingering stench of colonial consequence. Like ChatGPT, taking liberties. He gasped. The moonlight kissed his alabaster skin, a soft, ethereal glow upon a body sculpted by generations of excessive leisure. But it was not his porcelain complexion that had made him famous. It was his cock. Oh, the legend of that cock. Heavy, thick, veined like the Nile. It had parted the lips of London's duchesses, danced between the cheeks of Parisian courtesans, and been whispered about in New York's most decadent salons. But now here, in this abyss of sweat and darkness, it hung like an ornament of empire, trembling, unprotected, awaiting its face. The shadows moved. Heavy black bodies, shimmering with sweat, coiled with muscle, loomed over him. These were not men of the opera, nor the fencing hall, nor the candlelit dining rooms of high society. These were men built for war, built for toil. Okay, so it goes on. It's really good. And we did all that instead of playing with our kids. So it's very funny. And I don't even know why I told you guys all this, but it's very... little behind the scenes, Ken Flores passed away. He's a comedian. Really great comic. It really, really, really heartbreaking, man. It happened a week ago. He was found in his house or his apartment dead. And it was really hard news to take. The guy I just brought him to feature for me in Brea. We were planning more dates together. He was, a friend, becoming a friend, and I really liked him. And I saw something, as many people did, very special in that guy. And I've said this before because I saw somebody say it on Instagram, and it is very true. He was a legend in the making. He really was. The guy just had such a bright future, and he passed away. And I'm not really sure how or what. I know there was some, maybe maybe there was some sort of I don't know. He was 28, so it was something. It wasn't old age, right? But I don't have all the facts. But I just, he was such a special guy. He really was, and we had a memorial. They had a memorial for him at the Comedy Store. And I I've been to a few memorials before, and I went and I spoke at it, and it's just a weird thing to go through. People were crying, and then anyway, I was thinking about Too Soon. It was just like it was so weird to be on this comedy stage, not like going for laughs. And I wanted to like talk about him in a very respectful, good way. I wanted people to understand how much like he made life, what he did when he was around you, like how he made you feel, and what he. And I did it. I talked about it, and I got off stage, and I sat next to Kristen, and I was like, was that good? I felt like it's so weird to go on stage, not do jokes, and I was like, I hope I didn't. Like I was so in my head about like I hope it went okay, and like I hope people know that like I loved the dude, and it's just such a sad fucking thing. I don't know, man, but I'm just saying. People did try to do jokes. Some of them worked, and it's just like, I don't know. People were like, hey, Ken would hate this fucking thing. And I get that, right? I get it, the thing about memorials and about how memorials they're this weirdly clinical, it's this, don't say this weird environment that isn't fun per se at all. I mean, I guess there could be light moments of brevity and shit, but it's like they're just so much. And I was like, man, if I want to, I leaned over to my friend in the middle. I was like, oh man, I hope we can do one of these for you soon. Like, like that kind of joke is funny. We started laughing, and it helps us get through it. Whatever. As comics, as people who enjoy laughing and shit, and buddies of Ken. But I was like, dude, bro, I'm thinking about like how comics would, a lot of people want their thing to be a celebration of life when they die. Oh yeah, no, don't cry for me. Like my mom is like, when I have a funeral, I don't want anybody crying. I want to, hey, dude, not me, man. I want everybody crying, sharing very specific stories about me. Very specific stories that they have to listen to, that might be boring to them, but that I would love. Okay? That I would love. That I would find funny. Like the trash thing at the coffee shop that I went to with the sign that said, "This is not a trash can." I want that monologue to be played. And I want people to have to sit there and listen to it. Because that's how you respect me. Be sad. Cry. And it's not 2 hours. It's 9. Leave if you want to. I guess you weren't that good of a friend. So it got me thinking, though, man. It is very sad. It's very sad when that happens. It's so sad, really. It's not fair sometimes. It's so fucking weird that this shit, like I'm 44, dude. And like, I think of like, my kids are, Calvin's going to be 5 and Billy's going to be 2. And, I'm older than my dad was when I think of him when I was a kid, and all that stuff is in the past, and I'm past that version of that, which is nuts, dude. I mean, the memories I have of my dad, and I'm only saying my dad, my mom too. I'm saying my dad because I'm a man, and my dad is a man. But it's all fleeting, dude. And the moments you have with these people, like, yeah, it's cliche to say you're never, you don't know when they're going to go. Hug your loved ones. Love on your people when you can while they're still here, because you never know what's going to happen. And, it's stuff that we think about sometimes, but feeling it is a different thing, like feeling it at this memorial, feeling it about, my parents that are, and loved ones. They go away. And I guess the thing that I think about, which I tried to convey on stage there, was, well, I guess I could tell the story. I don't know why I'm not, but when I was in Brea, I brought, I had Ken come feature for me. And I felt lucky to have him. He's been doing stand-up a very short amount of time, and he's been killing it. He's got a fan base. He's very good. He moved up quickly. And I'm like, oh, he said, he's like, I'd love to, open for you. And I was like, really? Okay. He gets there, and, he was nervous because he was like, he's a Mexican dude, and he was like, he told one of the guys, he was like, I'm more nervous about this show than any other show I've done. And they were like, why? And he said, because this is all white people, which is hilarious. And so he went up and he killed. But one of the nights, my family surprised me. They came, and they came to see me do stand-up. My wife and my 2 kids. I didn't know they were coming, and they just show up in the back in the green room. And it was so, I will never forget that feeling of them showing up and being there and surprising me. It felt so good. I felt so much love. Like, I felt so much love and happiness, like just genuine, only happiness. Like, often you feel happiness, but you also feel other things too. Like, you can feel happiness and sadness at the same time. You can feel pain and laugh, right? But I only was feeling joy. Like, this is one of these moments where I was 100% filled with joy because my family was here, Calvin was here, Billy was here, Kristen was here, and they surprised me. I felt like I was important, and it was so beautiful. And Ken was there too, and I was like, this is so great that Ken's here. He gets to meet my family, and I picked up Billy, and I was holding Billy, and Ken took this picture of me holding Billy, and Billy had on a jacket that said "Life Rips," and Ken posted this picture on his story, and it said, "Yes, it does." And I reposted it, and I saved it, and I thought, man, it's so cool to have that picture. It's so awesome to have that picture, and it's so great that Ken took it and met my family, and it's a great picture. The story behind it is great. And Ken took it, These were all things I liked about it. And then a month later, he passes away. And I go through shock and some grief and sadness, and after the initial shock wears off, I find myself thinking, oh wow, that picture, that's great that I have that picture. And so I go look for it on the iPhone, and I go back to look for it. And it's like, so when you try to find a picture on an iPhone, it's like, what? It's like, dude, it's it's way harder than it should be. You know, you're like, what zoom should I do? Should I have 5 pictures in a row, or should I make it more to where I see more of them at the same time, or how fast do I scroll? And I'm like, I can't do it like this. So I type in "life rips" because that's in the jacket, and you can type in words on the picture. I type in "life rips." It doesn't come up. So now I'm like, oh yeah, it probably doesn't come up because the font is weird on the "life rips." So then I go, wait, when was it? It was a month ago. I go back a month, and then I'm looking, and I'm like, was it a month or a month and a half or whatever? And then I say, wait a minute, dude, I was at the Brea Improv from the 26th to the 29th, and that night was the 28th. So I'm like, oh, I'll type in December 28th. I type in December 28th. Every picture comes up from that night, and that picture is not there. It's not there. And I'm like, what the hell? I love that picture. This sucks. It sucks now doubly because Ken passed and I don't have it. And this feels like it makes me sad. So I'm like, oh, maybe I just can't find it now. So the next day I look for it and it's not there. And I find all different ways to try to look. I look, you know, I go to Instagram so I can find it on Instagram, and it's not there. And I'm like pissed off for a little bit. And then I remember that it was a moment that happened. You know, I don't have the picture, but I have the moment. And the important thing about that whole thing is how I felt during that moment. That I won't forget, picture or not. And it was very poignant for me because really everything, you know, legacy or who you were or whatever it is, all that matters. All that really matters are the people that are around you and how they feel about you. Really. And that's, I mean, if you're lucky, it's 8 people. I'm very fortunate that I have a lot of people around me that I love. And Ken was one of them. And it's just wild to me that, like, I don't have the picture and Ken isn't here anymore. But the important parts of that are the way those things made me feel. And Ken, whenever he was around, made people feel really good. And there are not many people like him. And in a way, I'm kind of glad I can't find that fucking picture because it's how it should be. All about the moment and all about the experience, which is what Ken gave everyone around him, beyond just his family, audiences, on the internet, his clips, and just, he was a great guy. And, yeah. So rest in peace, Ken Flores. And thanks for taking that picture. And that's it, I guess. I guess I can wrap it up after that. I feel good. I feel good. You know, I guess I feel good. It's weird to be, it's weird to have a podcast and like talk and then start crying and shit because it's like, I don't, you know, that's so weird. That's so weird, but whatever. I guess, I mean, it's definitely okay. I just don't want to do that. And then it happens and I'm like, okay, well, I did it and I'll be out there and shit. Okay. Well, hopefully you also found the stuff I was saying about Jaden Smith funny. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening and see you next week.